is Wrestling Reverb. And now your host, Josh Robinson.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Wrestling Reverb. I am your host Josh Robinson, and straight into things, NXT TakeOver was today. We're a few hours removed from TakeOver, and holy shit, what a show. From top to bottom, this show was absolutely incredible. I'm just going to give like a quick little take on my kind of version of TakeOver and how I kind of just really it sunk into me, because from the moment it began, even the pre-show was really good. The pre-show was half an hour longer this time around, the first time they've done that. It seems like every time NXT TakeOver is in Brooklyn, they know it just, there's something magical in the air for that show. This was the fourth time around. It literally from the start, like the tag team championship match started off, it was Mustache Mountain and the Undisputed Era. And that match was, you think watching that, you think, how is anything going to top that? Because it seems like we talk about every TakeOver, it's just always, for the most part, incredible. And it's always like, how are they going to top what went on before that? And I mean, opening the show is always a good spot, but that really was one way to do it. Undisputed Era win. Like I said, incredible match. There was so many different kind of things that happen in that. It was just Tyler Bate, his strength alone is something to be impressed with. He's only 21 years old. That whole match was just so good. I'm not going to stick on matches for too long, only because I'm kind of moving along with TakeOver, but it was just a fantastic tag team match. And that's coming from someone, as I've said before, who's not really huge on tag team wrestling. But when it's done well, that is the way to do it. Like, when it's done well, I love it. And that is the way you really captivate me, someone who is more casually into tag team wrestling than other aspects of wrestling. But man, great match. EC3 and Velveteen Dream, if you look at the whole landscape of things, was probably, and this is saying something, it wasn't a bad match by any means. It was just, out of everything else, it was probably the least best match. I'm not going to say worst match, because it really wasn't bad at all, but out of everything, this was the calm of the whole show. It was a great match still. Velveteen won. I was so glad about that. A bit of a mild reaction for EC3. I think at some points in the match he actually got booed, but Velveteen is on a different level. His tights said, "Call me up, Vince," on the back. It was just a great match. I love the finish of the match, the Purple Rainmaker on the apron. It was just another good match. But yeah, as I said, just out of everything else, it was the least best. Move on to Adam Cole and Ricochet for the North American Championship, and this match was fucking incredible. This was one of the best matches I've seen in a long time. That super kick off the moonsault of the springboard, that was just insane. The Hurricane Rana from the inside of the ring to the outside of the ring. Ricochet is on another level with that kind of stuff. Adam Cole, I love. I didn't see Ricochet winning this match, but he did, and I was fine with it. It was the moment to do it. It was that match was just awesome. Full stop. End of story. That match was amazing. Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler was nearly the opposite of amazing, if you can have one. The opposite kind of amazing to Cole and Ricochet. I was very, very surprised to see Kairi Sane win. I was pretty much adamant that I see Shayna retaining. The ending of this match was, I absolutely love the way that they did that. There were so many, insane elbows, and it was just a great match. Shayna has come leaps and bounds since the Mae Young Classic finals last year. Even Kairi, to a certain degree, has really fit into the WWE mold perfectly. This match made me kind of fall in love with Kairi Sane. I never hated Kairi Sane, but I certainly was never like, this is like someone that I really am captivated by. But this match made me change that. She is just an adorable person who is just and the mean streak that she showed, she has so polar opposites of it's just incredible to see. She is just a great moment, a fantastic match. This was probably, I don't think it was the best match of the whole show, but it was probably my favorite match of the whole show. That was really, really something special. And then, of course, Gargano Ciampa, last man standing. We knew it was going to be amazing. We knew it was just going to be, a step above everything else on the show, and it delivered. I know some people were a little bit iffy on the finish. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a very smart heel way to win. It just seems like every time Johnny's nearly about to get there, Ciampa's just that little half a step ahead of him. Great match. I love the spots of these match. They always have it. Just kind of combined their previous encounters into one. Great stuff again. A great ending to TakeOver. And, I mean, I'm not trying to, go into SummerSlam with a closed kind of offset mind here, but SummerSlam is going to have its work cut out following that. As a fan watching SummerSlam and after watching TakeOver, it's going to be hard I'm going to go in with an open mind to SummerSlam, of course, but it's just going to be, I know it's going to be a hard act to follow, and especially the length of SummerSlam and stuff like that. But nonetheless, TakeOver was absolutely incredible. I couldn't have enjoyed it more if I tried. I've already watched some of the matches again over, and I'm probably going to watch them again before I kind of get myself ready for SummerSlam. So, I mean, just great. It's just a great show. It was probably, we'll give it a few days to kind of sink in, because you always kind of think this after it's fresh in your mind, but that was probably the best TakeOver I've ever watched. And there's been a lot. And, just any match on that card could be your favorite. And it would be hard to debate it. It'd be like, well, that was amazing. So it's just going to be incredible. I don't even know what else to say about TakeOver. It was just amazing. One more thing about TakeOver. It's sometimes relatively hard to outdo the last TakeOver, but that one kind of blew all the other ones out of the water. I don't know. It's just great stuff. But anyway, we're going to get on to SummerSlam, and once again, I'm going to welcome back on to the show Mr. Ryan Madden.
Hi.
He didn't get to watch TakeOver today.
No.
As he said previously, he doesn't watch NXT on a frequent basis.
Now I regret it.
Yeah, he missed an incredible show. It was just anyway, we're not going to harp on about TakeOver, because I'll talk about it for the next 2 hours.
I'm fine with that.
And okay, so SummerSlam is going to be a long show. We are aware of that. There's 3 matches on the kickoff. There's 10 main show matches. It's going to be a long show. I think it's probably going to go for about 6 or 7 hours.
I'm not ready.
I'm excited for SummerSlam. I think for the most part, without going into any of the matches, are you just genuinely excited for SummerSlam?
Yes, actually, I am.
I am too. It's done enough to get me ready. I guess. SummerSlam is always good.
They've built up enough.
They've built up
with
the matches that I really want to see. I really fucking want to see.
Yeah.
So that's enough for me. Before I go into SummerSlam, it was announced today on WWE.com and all the social media stuff. At WWE Evolution on October 28th, it's going to be Trish Stratus, the Hall of Famer, taking on Alexa Bliss. When this match was first announced, I was a bit iffy on it. I'm like, really? This is the match we're going to go with for Stratus? If she's only got one more match left in her, then I was like, okay, it's going to be Bliss. But before I ask you what you think about it, as the hours have rolled by, I can't really think of too many better people than Bliss for Stratus, because they're kind of parallel in the way that they've kind of come into the business.
The same height.
They're physically, Trish Stratus is a little bigger maybe than Bliss, but they're physically very similar. Very similar kind of looks in a way. And kind of, Stratus came into the WWE, and relatively quickly, she was the women's champion.
Yeah.
They both started out as managers for the most part. They both kind of progressed the kind of same speed and stuff like that
Yeah.
to their abilities.
Very similar.
I think the match will be fine. I don't expect it to be a 5-star classic.
No.
Anything with even Stratus at the age she is now, especially not working a singles match in quite some time, it's going to be a more. Not saying that Trish Stratus still can't go. We seen her at the Rumble. She didn't look bad at all. But Trish Stratus is 42 years old.
It's not that old.
I mean, in terms of someone who hasn't been working frequently since 2006,
True.
that's 12 years that you've realistically been away from the ring. But that's not to say that Trish still can't go. I still think Trish can. I still think we can get a fairly solid match out of Trish. It's just going to be a little more reliant on Bliss, not to carry the match, but just kind of keep the pace alive, I feel. With Trish being, she's going to be very over, very face, and Bliss is going to be an extreme heel. So you can keep the match a little slower and it will work. The crowd will be involved because it's Trish Stratus and it's Alexa Bliss. I mean,
Jeez.
Alexa Bliss is a main event player now, so I think it's going to be fine. As I've said, at the first, I was a little sour on it. As I've kind of let it sink in, I'm all for it.
I'm seeing in the match an interference. I'm seeing interference from Mickie James for Bliss's side, and then Lita coming out.
I don't think there will be too much interference at Evolution for the most part of these kind of matches because they're quote-unquote dream matches. And you don't want Stratus's last match to be filled with all this cheap nastiness. Bliss will still cheat. I'm not saying she won't cheat, but I just think it's going to stay more towards those two girls inside the ring. But,
That's fair.
I mean, we're still 2 months away from Evolution. We've still got a lot of time in between there. Will Trish be on TV before Evolution? Will there become some kind of story? Will it just be a match? We don't even know. So, but it got announced. I think they announced it because it got leaked at Takeover. There was a graphic that come up and it was all over the internet. So I think they were kind of pushed into a corner and they
had no choice.
But anyway, let's talk SummerSlam. We'll start off with the kickoff matches. And we'll just get right into it. So we've got the B team, the current Raw Tag Team Champions, defending against the Revival. Now, just to fill anyone in, this past week on Raw, there was a triple threat Tag Team Championship match. The Revival, the Deleters of Worlds, and the Revival. And it looked like the Revival were about to get it, and then the B team come in, snuck away, threw out one of the team members of Revival. I can't remember which one. And they got the win on Bray Wyatt. Which kind of gives the Revival, opportunity to get another shot at this. The B team are currently undefeated. The Revival are very defeated in terms of ever since they've come up to the main roster. And this isn't all on WWE side. For the most part, it's on them. Injuries have hit both of them, stalling them, and it's just kind of hard to get your momentum back after that.
Yeah, once you break it, it's very hard.
And they've just kind of stalled because it was just as they got called up and it was as all that. So, I mean, no one's fault for the injury or anything like that. But, stuff happens and they can't just be inserted back into a championship picture right away. Nonetheless, they're going for the tag team championships now. Like I said, it's going to be on the kickoff. I'm not expecting anything like amazing out of this, but it'll be fine.
We could be surprised.
Maybe
these two work really well.
We don't know. We haven't really seen.
Yeah.
I think they had a match. Maybe. I don't know. But either. It'll be fine. It'll be probably. I'm assuming this match will probably go on first of the kickoff, just to give a title match first. But it might not. But what would you? Who's going away with the Raw Tag Team Championships in this one?
I see the Revival becoming new tag team champions, just because I feel like this would be their time for that push that they need. Because as you said, their momentum has slowed down, and they need it back. And they're both amazing wrestlers. They're a great tag team. The B team are good. They're not bad, but just as they're like comic relief in a way. they're not a serious team, but they are at the same time. I kind of see them in both ways. But yeah, I'm hoping for the revival.
So for me, I'm kind of looking at this as not who I really want to win, but who I think is going to win. I'm going more on the side of the B team. I just think they're not really done with this experiment of the B team yet. They're going to keep their undefeated streak. I think they'll fight the revival probably into the next pay-per-view or whatever. I see a B team retain. All right, we move into... Now, this one's going to be a little bit harder to talk about because we don't follow 205 Live. But we've got Cedric Alexander defending against Drew Gulak. Now, like I said, I keep tabs on 205 Live, but I don't watch it. And, I mean, no disrespect to anyone who does or anything like that. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. I'm just going to take a stab in the dark, and I think Cedric will probably retain. I don't think Drew Gulak's the one to beat him.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you with that.
Yeah, I kind of go with Cedric. We can't really go too much into that, only because we don't really, we don't really watch it.
Who do you see defeating Cedric eventually?
Well, it depends, because there's prospects on 205 that I watch if I, am seeing it on the internet a lot, like Leo Rush and stuff like that. He's new. I thought it was going to be Murphy, but then that didn't happen, so I don't really know. I just don't think there's really that one. But like I said, I don't watch 205 and I don't study it like I do everything else, so it's hard to really say. I just don't see Cedric losing it at SummerSlam.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah. Something we can talk about and something that I like, the last match of the kickoff is Almas and Vega versus Rusev and Lana. Now, the mixed tag team match, if you've been listening to this podcast, which I will quickly add in there, this week has been huge for me. I've had this podcast kind of blow up. I've been on iTunes charts. Thank you. I couldn't thank everyone enough for anyone that has taken the time to listen and share and download or whatever, but it's just kind of low-key kind of blown up, and I'm just kind of like, what the fuck's going
Overwhelmed.
on? Without going into anything, there's some things on the back burner. I'll talk about more of that when I can, but thank you to everybody. Keep listening, keep sharing, keep whatever. I'm just happy that this is kind of getting out there sooner rather than later.
It's really just me. I've got multiple accounts.
Well, I don't even give a shit. The views look good, so...
I'm going to pat myself in the back later.
Anyway, so we'll go into this mixed tag team match. As everyone knows, I love SmackDown, and this match has been... To me, this match should be on the main card, because it's had a very good build.
And it's a mixed tag. And
I like mixed tag matches. I'm a sucker for a mixed tag match. I don't know why. I just am. But everyone knows I love Almas. I love Selena Vega. I think they're a great pairing. I think the sky is the limit for them. Rusev and Lana certainly don't bother me. I think Lana's improved leaps and bounds.
Very much.
She's gotten so much better. I don't think she's amazing. I don't think she ever will be amazing in the ring, but she's certainly gotten better, and you can see the girl has put in her effort.
Yeah.
Rusev is fun. But who do you see walking away with the W?
I'm not sure. I like them both equally. I kind of want to see Rusev and Lana win.
But who do you think will win?
I can't even say. It's just going to be surprising me either way. Because I've seen the matches between Lana and Selena, and the build between them, I want to see them both win. Can we have a draw?
Well, technically we could. I don't think we're going to get a draw. Well, if you can't decide, then...
I know what yours is going to be.
This is what I think will happen, because I think that Almas and Vega will win, But I think it's going to be due to Aiden English stepping in.
I forgot about him.
And getting in the way again at some point. And I think this is going to be the ultimate demise of Rusev Day. That's what I think is going to happen. Of course, who I want to win is Almas and Vega, but I just think they will.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going with who I think will win, not who so much I want to win, but I'm excited for this mixed tag on the kickoff.
Yeah,
out of all the
so
matches,
different.
out of all the matches on the kickoff, this is the one where I'm going to be actually paying attention to.
Yeah, like it's a main card.
Yeah. So we move on to the main card. More tag team matches.
Oh,
Yay.
goody.
No, the New Day versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Bludgeon Brothers. SmackDown tag titles on the line. The New Day and the Bar had an absolutely incredible match in the final of the mini tournament that they had.
Yeah.
New Day walk away.
It was good.
New Day walk away with the win. The Bludgeons are looking as menacing as ever. Like I've said previously, we've kind of seen this before in the terms of WrestleMania with the Usos added in there. For me, I think it's more... It's hard to say because the Bludgeons are on such a tear, and a little part of me thinks they aren't done with the Bludgeons being on that tear yet. But that being said, the New Day have been really on point with everything lately. They've kind of come back from the shadows a little bit and really stepped up their game. For that, I could see the New Day. But I'm going to go with the Bludgeons. I think the Bludgeons are retaining.
I see the New Day becoming the tag team champions again. Just because I feel like what would come next would be the Bar versus the New Day. But with a little bit of a mix of the Usos coming in.
Yeah, it's kind of sucky that the Usos aren't... I mean, it's like this in a lot of ways, but especially with the tag teams, there's only spots for 2 teams.
Yeah.
So, for the most part, because you can't do multi-team things all the time.
No, not at all.
So, there's only one set of tag team championships on each show, and it's just the way it is. I love the Usos. But that being said... The Bludgeons have got a lot of momentum, so
they
the
do.
New Day, so this is probably the best way to go for now. All right, we'll move on to Finn Balor and Constable Baron Corbin. This is the rubber match at Extreme Rules. Finn Balor got the win, and a few weeks ago on Raw, Constable Baron Corbin got the win. This will even it out. I think this is the end of this feud. I think it's more so to get them on SummerSlam. Gives them something to do. The match itself will probably be fairly good. They had a fairly decent match. Their match on Raw a couple of weeks ago was better than their match at Extreme Rules. You predict first because...
I reckon it's going to be Baron Corbin. Just because he's like the authority figure, and the authority always get their way. In a way, I feel like he's got something up his sleeve to get him the win. But I feel in the end it's going to be a good match because both of them, they're just good. I reckon both work together well.
Them they do, and I'm going with Finn. I just think it doesn't hurt Baron to lose.
Not at all.
I think it hurts Finn more. I think Finn will win. So that's what I'm going to try and get all these right, obviously, because I love to win. So I'm going with Finn. The next match, which is weirdly that I'm this excited for it, but is the United States Championship match. It's Shinsuke Nakamura defending against Jeff Hardy. The build for this match has been awesome. We've got the likes of Randy Orton lurking around, and potential for that. After this, Randy's going to be involved in this in some way, whether it's during, after, whatever it may be. I thought it was going to be originally a triple threat with Randy in there as well.
That's usually what they do when there's an interference.
But to be honest, I kind of like that it is just Shinsuke and Jeff because we have a longer story out of it. We're not just getting this out of the way now and moving on.
Yeah.
Randy has been absolutely on fire since his return, since his heel turn. Jeff has been... this past week on SmackDown, Jeff took on Shelton Benjamin, and he's been looking... he's looked the best. He looked less tired, less physically hurt. I'm excited. Shinsuke's great. I have nothing bad to say about Shinsuke. I'm excited for the match. At Extreme Rules, obviously, it went about 15 seconds because of the low blow, and then the Kinshasa, and it was over.
Yeah.
I thought that was perfect, the way that Shin won.
He's making a very good heel.
Yeah, he's
He
an
is
incredible heel
really
ever
good.
since his stuff with AJ and stuff like that. For me, I think due to Randy Orton, Shin retains. And I think we either move on then to Jeff and Randy going at it, or we get the triple threat eventually. But I think Shin walks out with the United States Championship.
Yeah, I see that. I see Shinsuke definitely walking out because his momentum with the title is far from over.
Just, would I be mad if Jeff Hardy won? Fucking no. It's Jeff Hardy. Everyone loves Jeff Hardy. But it just... in my mind, I just see how that's kind of going. I just see more Shin isn't done with the United States Championship yet. He kind of only just got it, really.
Yeah, can't give it away yet.
Now, the next match we want to talk about is something that has been building really for the last 8 years. It is Daniel Bryan and The Miz. This is so divided between who in my heart I want to win and who I think is going to win. I mean, to talk about 8 years of a build is a little hard, but I mean, you know, from their early NXT days, everyone knows the story. Everyone knows how much these guys, I think for the most part, genuinely don't like each other.
Not at all.
They're two polar opposite people. Miz is very Hollywood. Daniel Bryan is very, I'm going to stick in my little home and just be me and do my own life and not worry about fame and fortune. Miz is a little more fame and fortune.
He loves
than
it
Bryan.
all. He loves the spotlight.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I like The Miz. If I knew him personally, I think he would irritate the shit out of me. But
Wicked.
But for the most part, I really like The Miz. The last 2 years, maybe a little bit more, Miz is like up so high, and there's so many people below him now. I think even to a little point, Bryan is below The Miz.
He's definitely been keeping up that momentum of
being The Miz. He's just, and I think Bryan, since his return, I think the level of hype for that return couldn't live up after. I don't think Bryan is bad. Bryan's probably better in the ring than he was, but I just think just the way it's gone to now, I'll get into why I think that's a good thing in a minute, but he's just kind of fallen off the tracks a little bit. Now, why I think that's a good thing is because it's made this story even better. Yeah. Because it makes Bryan that underdog again. That's why we love Bryan, is because he was that underdog.
And he built his way up.
So getting that, so that story, you know, a majority of the audience want to see Bryan defeat The Miz. So without going into who you want or whatever like that, who do you think's walking away with the win?
I'm going to say The Miz. The reason why I say that is because I feel like with Miz winning, it will then go on a little bit more and it won't stop Bryan because he would want to crave more and he'd fight for it more and more, kind of like he usually does with all his stories. And it would give Miz that upper hand, or give him that, I guess, a bragging rights that Bryan absolutely hates.
Okay, so I've gone, especially the last couple of days, I was thinking to myself the other day, I'm like, man, I don't know why, but I'm excited for this match, but I ain't, like, you know, over the moon, like, holy shit, I'm ready for this match. The last couple of days, that's changed, and I'm so ready for this match. Like, I was like that. So ready for this match. And the last few hours, I've gone back and forth of what I think is going to go down.
It's very hard.
I'm saying a Miz victory. Yeah, I'm saying The Miz in some cheating, slimy way that only The Miz knows how, and I think we go on longer with this. I think it's pretty certain that Bryan's staying with the company. He's been in some contract disputes, I think. So I'm pretty certain he's staying with the company. We get it longer. Who knows what happens, but I'm going with The Miz. Moving along, and the landscape of this next match changed on Raw when a certain lunatic returned. So we've got Dolph Ziggler defending the prestigious Intercontinental Championship against Seth Rollins. Obviously, it's going to be a fantastic match. These two always deliver. I think we all not knew for certain, because we never do in WWE, never do in wrestling. But I think we all needed and wanted someone to be in Seth's corner, and there's not anyone better than Dean Ambrose.
No.
With the added elements of Ambrose, now that it's 2-on-2, we got someone to take down McIntyre. For me, Seth walks out with the championship, but there could be other activities that happen beyond this match at SummerSlam. Is there going to be a Dean Ambrose turn? Is there going to be... I was thinking the same thing. I don't know for sure. But SummerSlam, without anything else, Seth Rollins leaves SummerSlam with the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I'm seeing a Seth win to a Dean turn. His return, his new look, he looks like a heel, and I feel like they're gonna work on that. He's just from it was a simple haircut to getting beefed up. It's just changed his atmosphere dramatically, and I feel like they're gonna play that role, and he's just gonna turn on Seth, and then there'll be a story there, a really good one as well.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We've seen their matches in the past.
Yeah,
they're amazing. Of course, we've seen it the other way around with Dean as the face and Seth as the heel.
Yeah.
But this will be fun. This will add a new element to it. If that happens, we don't know. We're just speculating. We're just throwing out our stuff. And also, I will say, me and Ryan have not talked about barely any of this because I specifically said, don't tell me anything you're thinking, and we'll just see if we're on the same page.
I only thought about all of this today.
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about it for the last few days, and as we just kind of go, but... we kind of see the same kind of thing. Yeah. But both of us agreed. I think Seth's walking away with the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Coming up next, we are going to talk about a match that I'm very passionate about. The match that I think has the potential to be one of the best matches of the night. I'm very emotionally charged about this match. It is the triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We've got Becky Lynch... Charlotte Flair, and the current SmackDown Women's champion, Carmella. Now, everyone knows that has been listening to this how much on the Becky Lynch train Josh Robinson is. I'm very much ready for Becky Lynch. Of course, it was originally meant to be Becky Lynch versus Carmella 1-on-1.
But we couldn't have that.
But, as I've said previously in this podcast, at first, I was like, no, this is Becky's time. This is Becky's one-on-one spotlight. But the story that this match now has because of the added element of Becky Lynch's best friend, Charlotte Flair, this has gotten me more excited than if it was just Becky and Carmella. Do I want a Becky Lynch win? Fucking yes. Will I be mad that Becky Lynch wins? No fucking way. I'm so ready for Becky Lynch.
But do you see Becky Lynch
But what
winning?
I see happening is I don't think Charlotte turns on Becky here. I don't think it happens at SummerSlam. I think it happens a little bit later. But I think Becky is about to win, and Charlotte Flair comes in and in some way, fashion, steals, quote-unquote, the victory from Becky. So I think Charlotte, and I'll just be fucking happy if Carmella loses. That's how I see it going down.
Yeah, I see either one of them winning to the other one getting, I guess, jealous or mad that it's happened. What I see is I see Charlotte winning to Becky getting mad, attacking her after the win, except for congratulating her because it was supposed to be her time, and then Charlotte comes in at last minute and has been given this opportunity. Although she earned it, it was very quickly earned. Then, I guess, a build-up.
No, I get it. And
yeah.
This story of this match is Is it predictable? Maybe a little bit, but that's okay sometimes. Yeah. It's not a bad thing. But saying it's predictable, we kind of know where it's going. We just don't know who, don't know kind of where. I've said this many times to a lot of people that watch wrestling with me. This has the ability to steal the show. Triple threats are fun. I love triple threat matches. I think the crowd will be so behind Becky and not behind Carmella, and Charlotte will be that in between.
Yeah. Where
it could go either way for Charlotte. Could I see the crowd getting behind Charlotte? Yes. But I think WWE know what they're doing. At the end of the day, I do stand by that. WWE, for the most part, knows what they're doing. They knew the reception that this would get with Charlotte being added.
Yeah.
It just gives more sympathy to Becky Lynch. It makes her more of an entity for we want to win. Well, like I said, I won't be mad if Becky wins, but if Becky was to win now, what does this lead to? It's just kind of like Becky won. Okay. We want to see her chase this championship.
Yeah.
We want to, every despicable thing to happen to this woman, and then when the time does come, it's sweeter. But I am very ready for Becky Lynch. I will not be mad in any sense if she wins tomorrow. Brooklyn will love it. The crowd is going to be very invested in Becky Lynch, I'm hoping. But yeah, for me, we both agree Charlotte Flair walks out of SummerSlam with this SmackDown Women's Championship. Moving along, Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. And, of course, if Braun Strowman loses in any capacity, whether it's DQ, count out, whatever, he also loses the Money in the Bank contract to a Mr. Kevin Owens. Now, without saying what you think may happen later on with the case, who walks out with the Money in the Bank contract?
Alright, so I'm going to first start off by saying I haven't really been following this story much. It's been kind of there, but I haven't really looked into it.
That's fair. There's a lot to take in for SummerSlam, so I don't know.
But who I see walking out, I see Braun Strowman. And then on the same night, he's going to cash it in at the end of the night for the whoever.
Without getting into that too much, because we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but
for me, I see Owens walking out with the contract, but I think he's going to win it by count out or DQ, and it leads to something else a little bit later. I see what you're saying, and I'm on there with you, but there's something about, I can't, for some reason, even though it's clear as day that Braun is so over and so, the Money in the Bank contract is whatever, I just can't, for some reason, get it in my head that Owens is not walking away with it. But anyway.
Or Owens wins, Braun gets angry, tears down the whole stadium, and kills thousands of people.
Well, yeah. Well, Braun is crazy. I think Owens, you think Braun. I mean,
we're against each other on that one.
We'll move along to the WWE Championship match. AJ Styles defending against Samoa Joe. I said on my SmackDown and Raw review this week that I don't think in any means I'm not less excited for AJ and Samoa Joe, but I think what they did this week wasn't really my kind of thing with the whole family thing. I see what they're kind of doing, trying to make it a little more personal. Nonetheless, I'm excited for this match. It'll be really good. I don't see this being their one and only match. I think they go further, but I think AJ Styles retains.
Yeah, definitely. I see the same thing. I feel like they've gone just a little bit too far going into the whole, family ordeal.
Yeah, you're the same kind of thing. And it's not necessarily a bad storyline. I don't think it is at all. It's just not my kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really like that kind of stuff, but I don't think it's bad at all. Some people really love that kind of stuff, and that's cool. You do you. It's just not my thing.
Nah. It's the whole, keep your personal life outside of work and keep work inside.
I don't really see it that way, but and
there's boundaries.
There's.
I see they're going on the more storyline to try piss AJ off.
Yeah.
Get Small to piss AJ Styles off because, talk about family. Nobody wants that. Of course, you're going to want blood on the person who's saying, shit about your family. But it kind of, just gets a little bit too much sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. There's not too much more to say about that, but AJ
it just makes me less excited about a match. I want something.
I still think it would be really good.
Yeah.
I just see AJ retaining. You're on the same page,
Yeah.
so. So a match that I think, if the Universal Championship wasn't on the show, this match would probably be the headline in the last match. It's the Raw Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss defending against
Fight like a girl.
Ronda Rousey. There's something in my brain that thinks when something is too obvious, it won't happen in wrestling.
I was thinking that today.
Ronda Rousey, I think there's not really too many people I see on the internet that think Ronda is not walking out of SummerSlam with the Raw Women's Championship. But there's something about me that just, if you look at Alexa Bliss, okay, physically against Ronda Rousey, she's, as she normally is, a smaller, littler woman.
Fragile.
But if you look at Alexa Bliss's history and track record, she always finds a way, even if she loses, she always finds a way to get something back, whether it's a championship or revenge, whatever. You look at Nia Jax, she eventually got her championship back, and she got, she beat Nia. You look at Sasha Banks from last year's SummerSlam. Sasha got the win and actually won the Raw Women's Championship from Bliss. 8 days later, Bliss regains the championship. You look at Bliss's track record, and every time you think that girl is not going to win, she wins. She's a heel.
Pulls a
she
rabbit out of
cheats.
the hat.
But I've gone back and forth. I can't say that Ronda Rousey isn't going to win this match. Ronda Rousey, and this is the only reason, is because of Trish Stratus and Alexa Bliss's announcement. This is the only reason I say Alexa Bliss is losing. I was in my brain today, I'm like, Bliss is going to retain this championship. She's going to cheat. She's going to do something, use Alicia Fox, use Mickie James, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss is not leaving SummerSlam with a Raw Women's Championship. I'm saying Ronda Rousey wins.
So you're saying the obvious is going to happen?
It was, and the reason I explained it that way is because only due to this announcement. I mean, yes, we've still got a little bit of time before Evolution, but I think to get this story finished, you've got to have Ronda win at SummerSlam. They go on to Hell in a Cell. Whether it's in the cell or not is another question. They finish off a Hell in a Cell. We build on to other things for Evolution. That's my take on it. Ronda Rousey walks out. Ronda Rousey walks out with the Raw Women's Championship. I think Ronda's going to do it.
Well, I guess I see that happening. Unless Alexa gets Holly Holmes and, corner.
Oh, boy.
Play little scare tactics.
Ronda, to me, is the number one babyface in the company at the moment. There's not really many people that are more genuinely over than Ronda. Yes, she has a little help being a mainstream star, but who gives a fuck? She's over, she's over. It doesn't matter how. Ronda's good. Is Ronda ready for the Raw Women's Championship? I don't know. I guess there's only one way to find out.
At least she's there more than Brock, so we know she's
and
not
Ronda
like that.
Ronda is I think it's Ronda's night. So do you go with Ronda or do you go with Alexa?
I don't know that. What you said about it being obvious, it's kind of got me thinking now, and I see Alexa winning.
You're going with Alexa. I'm going with Ronda. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Don't even say anything else. It's
All right.
fine. We leave it at that.
Anything.
There's only one way to really go, and we're 50-50 on it, and it's fine. I just can't vote against Ronda at the moment. She's on too much of a hot run to lose. I just think that. But I think that match, we're not giving it enough thought of the actual wrestling match itself, because I think that match could be really good, or it could go really sour, because Bliss matches are sometimes, depending on her opponent, amazing, or I don't think she necessarily has bad matches, but she just doesn't have, if someone's not in there with her that she meshes with very well, they're subpar. But Ronda, that being said, Ronda's looked incredible. Yes, she's only had 3 matches in the WWE, but we know she's been training for quite a while, and you can tell it's very natural for her to do this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think most part it's because she takes the bumps literally. Like
she does not care about her body.
There's
Like
no,
she
put shoulders down
makes that
and
shit
whatnot.
look as real as it can get.
Yeah.
We move on to our main event.
I'm looking forward to this match.
Do you know what? I actually am. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm looking forward to Roman and Brock. Not for the actual wrestling match itself. I'm excited for the factor of the crowd. What the fuck are they going to do? I'm excited for the fact of the result and the potential maybe cash in. It seems to me that we're not going to talk about like Brock not being there and what we think of Brock as a Universal Champion, or even what we think of Roman in the sense of whether we don't like about him or not, because it's been said, we've said our piece on it, we don't need to get into it. But now, without getting into what you think about happening if there's going to be a cash-in or not, who wins this match?
Brock.
See, I just see it's been too much of a build for this to not be Roman. I think what happens is that Roman beats Brock finally. We get that moment. And then we get Kevin Owens, who I think is going to win the Money in the Bank. And I think we get a Paul Heyman, Kevin Owens alliance for Brock to go off to UFC and do his thing, whatever he does. Paul's still to say on our television screens. And it gives Kevin Owens a new lease on his kind of deal. That's what I think. I think Roman beats Brock for the WWE Universal Championship, and then Owens cashes in with the help of Paul Heyman. Owens leaves SummerSlam as the Universal Champion.
I could see that happening, and it would be such a good push for Owens as well.
Yeah.
To even have Paul Heyman in his corner, because Paul Heyman's...
And it's not for... It's like more of the... when Paul Heyman was with CM Punk.
Yeah.
It's not so much that Kevin Owens needs someone to talk for him, because he's very good at talking.
No, he is.
But it just gives that added little something to... If Kevin Owens is missing something, we don't know if it is, but it might be Paul.
CM Punk was great on the mic as well.
Yeah,
and
that's
Paul
what I mean.
Heyman still gave him that extra push that...
Yeah. It just
elevated.
elevated. So that's what I think's happening. But who do you think will, without getting into the cash in yet, who do you think wins the match?
The whole match? I see.
You said Brock.
Yeah, I'm still going with Brock.
Okay.
He's just always winning, but I do see this a cash in at the same time.
So you went with Braun for the Money in the Bank earlier. So do you see Braun cashing in on Brock at the end of SummerSlam?
Yeah.
So Braun Strowman leaves SummerSlam with the Universal Championship.
Yeah, I see that happening.
That's fine by me. I like that we're kind of different on that, because I know we have strong opinions on this match. One more kind of prediction. What is going to be the match of the night? What do you think will be the best match on the whole show?
I'm going to go Bryan and Miz.
I thought that's what you were going to say. I really thought.
As you said, there's an 8-year build on that, to the pipe bomb on talking smack, to the attack, even, what was it, last week or week before, where Bryan went after the Miz and attacked him in his, I guess, the set of Miz and Mrs. And just everything that they're doing is right. And I see this, and with both of them being great wrestlers, I see them having good chemistry with each other. And it's just going to be, I see myself jumping around everywhere.
I think that match will be fantastic. I think, for me personally, I said before, the SmackDown Women's Championship Triple Threat. I think that's going to be amazing. But that also has the potential to go wrong fast.
Yeah.
Because you add that third element in with 3 people. Sometimes it can go incredible or really not incredible.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick to it. I think the SmackDown Women's Championship match will surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I do see that.
Yeah.
I think my kind of problem with that is, as I don't want to single out, I don't want to shit on either of them, but I feel like Carmella might have a thing in that would kind of not make it as good as it could be.
But I think with the fact that with a triple threat is that you have the ability to limit Carmella and show off her strengths rather than her being exposed. So it gives time for Charlotte and Becky to kind of carry Carmella through it.
Yeah.
We both, I think even you've said on this podcast, at least you've said to me, we both agree that we don't think Carmella is up to par with the rest of the women's evolution. We both agree that she's got a good character and she can talk on the microphone, but that sometimes just doesn't equal to your ring ability. I don't think that Carmella sucks at wrestling. She just isn't on anyone else's level, and I mean anyone in the women's wise in the company. Is she a star? Yes. Is she a superstar? No. But yeah, I think the SmackDown Women's Championship match, overall, I think SummerSlam will be pretty damn good. It has the potential to be amazing.
It's going to
be
really
long. Does. It'll be long.
It's going to be so much.
But if they can keep us, if they space out the big matches enough, it'll keep me invested.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to thank Ryan for coming on this episode of Wrestling Reverb.
You're welcome.
We're excited for SummerSlam. I'll be back on this
shaking.
week. I'll be back on this week for a SummerSlam review show. My normal Raw and SmackDown shows will be here. We got a few more nights in Brooklyn. Everyone knows that it's my favorite wrestling city in the world.
They have so much energy.
They do. Let's just hope for an amazing SummerSlam, and I'll check in with you guys next time. Bye. Bye.